I am Nick Skelsey, Alex Hook's here in the back, and we're co-founders at Soapbox Systems. And we put together Ombuds, which is a distributed microblogging platform for journalists who want to preserve their content, or their words online, or the words of others. In other words, Ombuds is a peer-to-peer immutable microblog. And the operative word here is immutable. This is a peer-to-peer application that runs on top of Bitcoin, and it is immutable because these statements, right? So these small text statements you create, or these tagged, like tag statements that you create, are stored in an immutable place, right? A very permanent spot called the blockchain. Cool. And Alistair Reed actually probably puts it better than I do, but we want to basically let users carve their words into stone, right? Into this very permanent place on the net. Cool. So this came out of research, out of a senior thesis, and we graduated. We said, oh God, we want to keep doing this. We want to write open source software. So we wrote some software. We actually won some money, which was surprising, and so what's next, right? Where have we gone? And basically, since August, we've really focused on two things. We focused on building this software, and talking with the experts and seeing what they think of what this system could be, and getting their opinions. So. And actually, the big takeaway from these folks was the tech's got to work. So you got to build the thing, and then we'll get maybe we'll be your advocate, or maybe we'll just work with you. So so that's what we did. That's what we focused on, and this is open source software. It's a work in progress. But since August, we've written a spec. We wrote this retweeter, which is this it's like a mirror for content you generate on Twitter to get stored and preserved in this public record, in this database. And the two primary things though are a peer in this network is a Bitcoin node, and an Android app, which actually I think is now it's available in the App Store as of like 2 hours ago. So you should go check it out. So I guess the another takeaway from going and talking with these folks, it was nobody really wants to run security software if they're the first people to do it. So this is a technical project, and the preservation of content is an important subject that people understand, but nobody is going to be the pilot. So one thing we determined was we're going to have to do it ourselves, and we're going to have to demonstrate the need ourselves, and maybe along the way we can find a partner in this the international human rights space that wants to preserve content that may be under threat from foreign governments, or under threat from cyber bullies, or people who want to basically erase stuff from the web. Cool. And also, yeah, we did some presentations too. We've taken this a couple spots. DEF CON, fantastic conference, never been before, very fun. And then hopefully we will be at the Internet Freedom Festival if they pay for it. Yeah, so that's in March. I'm looking forward to that. There's some big takeaways from the last 6 months of our work here, and really I'm going to emphasize this concept that Bitcoin is a settlement system, or it's becoming a settlement system, and a year ago, year and a half ago, when we started looking at this, there's a lot of talk of the blockchain being a system for preserving truth, for preserving, more than just financial records, and as it's progressed, we've sort of seen this seismic shift and this momentum gain for the business case of this system. And for example, like the New York Times wrote an article like literally yesterday about a group raised like $50 million to produce. They're going to take this blockchain technology and they're going to produce a new stock exchange or a new settlement process for the Australian stock system, right? And so this tech that we depend on is sort of moving in a direction, but that's not necessarily a bad thing because this is something that if you could grow it and if you can build a community around it, you can basically launch your own peer-to-peer network. But for now, right, this is a system that depends on Bitcoin. Cool. Yeah, and then the Economist wrote a sort of front page spread about the blockchain a couple of weeks, I guess in October. I should have an image there, but they basically said they took the other side, but it's amazing when you're on the other side of it, when you see sort of what's behind this technology, how it's not necessarily misleading, but the press has an amazing role here in shaping the public discussion. So I guess the one thing that I would like to emphasize is that I got out of school and I really wanted to be an open source developer. I wanted to write code and put it in the public domain. And Knight let me do this, right? And I feel like I've got some wind in my sails. So it's like immense that we can we can do this work. So thank you. But if you want to check our stuff out, it's probably best. We can you just find me and I can show you how it works and what the details are. But I don't want to hold you guys here because this has been fantastic and cool. That's it.